Marvel famously plays their cards close to the vest when it comes to keeping story details secret, both to avoid spoilers and to keep fans guessing. But the studio has revealed some unexpected characters set to appear in its next big film. Here's a look at some of the most surprising characters confirmed for Avengers Endgame, and obviously some major potential spoilers ahead. Portrayed by Tilda Swinton in 2016's Doctor Strange, the Ancient One was Stephen Strange's mentor who taught the eventual Sorcerer Supreme everything he knows about magic and the mystic arts. In the film, it's revealed that she'd been using dark magic to lengthen her life.
She draws power from the dark dimension to stay alive.
That's not true.
I've seen the rituals, work them out.
Soon after, in a savage battle with villain Caecilius, the Ancient One is mortally wounded and dies, but not before a final heart-to-heart with Strange via astral projection. While death isn't always the end of the road in superhero movies, the images of the Ancient One's vanishing astral projection seemed as final an outcome as one can receive in the MCU. That's exactly why many fans were surprised to see Swinton's name on Endgame's IMDb page. Following her death, Doctor Strange wielded the artifact known as the Eye of Agamotto, which was revealed to be the Time Stone. The Ancient One's reappearance has fueled fan theories that time travel will play a major role in Endgame. In the first act of Infinity War, Wong joins the fight against the invading Black Order. Once Doctor Strange is kidnapped, however, Wong abruptly exits the remainder of the film's action to protect the Sanctum Sanctorum. While Wong's fate post-snap is never fully revealed, the actor has confirmed his participation in Endgame. Assuming this means that Wong is alive and well, this character could wind up being surprisingly crucial to the plot.
Whoa! Ugh. Wong, you're invited to my wedding.
Doctor Strange is conspicuously left out of the confirmed cast for Endgame. When last we saw him in Infinity War, he was disintegrating to dust while also hinting at a larger plan. In Doctor Strange, Wong was the keeper of the mystical library in Kamar-Taj and was responsible for schooling Strange on the nature of the Time Stone encased within the Eye of Agamotto. As perhaps the last hero standing with in-depth knowledge of the Infinity Stones and significant experience wielding the Time Stone, Wong may be the one to bring Benedict Cumberbatch back to the Endgame call sheet after all. Remember back in Iron Man 3 when Tony Stark wound up in the garage of young Harley Keener?
Freeze! Don't move.
You got me.
While the character served the narrative of Iron Man 3 and comedic sensibilities of director Shane Black, what place could this kid, now a teenager, possibly have in Endgame? With rampant speculation that Endgame could be Robert Downey Jr.'s final MCU appearance, certain theories suggest that Keener could make an appearance for Tony Stark's funeral. Others theorize that Stark could be looking to pass the torch, and perhaps Keener could be in line for the Iron Man mantle. Nearly every one of the Guardians of the Galaxy perished in Infinity War. Only Rocket remains of the core group. Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis, and Groot were all taken in the culling. It seems the Infinity Gauntlet affected an unfair percentage of Guardians, until you remember that Star-Lord totally blew it on Titan.
No, you didn't! Stop!
Maybe that's why he's the only one of these characters not listed on Endgame's IMDb page. Mantis, Groot, and Drax are all confirmed to be appearing according to that cast list. Gamora was also killed by Thanos in Infinity War, though not by the snap. Instead, she was offered as a sacrifice on planet Vormir by Thanos in order to acquire the Soul Stone. We do see Gamora one more time in Infinity War, however. Once Thanos has completed his goal of wiping out half the life in the universe with the Infinity Gauntlet, he appears in a dreamlike dimension confronted by a young Gamora. The scene is bathed in an eerie orange light, the same color as the Soul Stone. Speaking to children at Iowa's City High, co-director John Russo confirmed that this scene actually takes place within the stone, or perhaps a pocket dimension created by it. If Gamora is in this purgatory place within the Soul Stone, is it possible that other dusted characters are also within the Orange Realm? Despite their apparent deaths in Ant-Man and the Wasp, current and former Wasps, Hope and Janet Van Dyne, are both listed on Endgame's IMDb, though notably Hank Pym isn't on the list. According to Peyton Reed, who directed Ant-Man and the Wasp, his film's timeline was left intentionally ambiguous. We liked the idea of the structure where, in true Ant-Man style, everyone has closure and everything's tied together, and almost in too neat of a bow at the end. Then to bang, give the audience a gut punch right after the main credits. That felt like our movie's tone and the way of dealing with that. In that credits sequence, just before Scott pops into the quantum realm, Janet gives him a potentially loaded warning.
And don't get sucked into a time vortex. We won't be able to save you.
Could Scott Lang, stuck in the quantum realm, possibly find a way to access different points of time using a vortex? Actor Frank Grillo has confirmed that Crossbones makes an appearance in Endgame. The bony bad guy hasn't appeared in the MCU since the opening sequence of 2016's Captain America Civil War, when he detonated a bomb on himself.
And you're coming with me.
Speaking during a podcast interview with UFC Unfiltered, Grillo said, "He makes an appearance in the next Avengers movie, but it's a flashback." What's interesting here is Grillo's use of the term flashback. Crossbones' appearance may very well be a standard narrative flashback, but it could also be a lot more, given all the time travel rumors surrounding not only the Time Stone, but Ant-Man and the Wasp's mid-credits sequence that leaves Ant-Man stuck in the quantum realm. We all know Spidey is due back for his second solo MCU film in Spider-Man Far From Home. However, considering that the last time we saw Peter Parker he wasn't feeling so good, it's still kind of surprising to see his name listed with the confirmed cast. Evidently, something gets Peter Parker back from the Great Beyond in time for his field trip in Far From Home, but fans believe that the trailer for Far From Home hints at the death of another character in Endgame, Tony Stark. Not only is Stark completely absent from the Far From Home trailer, but some say Spider-Man's decision not to bring his Spidey suit with him on his trip is further evidence of Iron Man's demise, and Peter's need to get some distance from that grief. Of all the terrible downfalls that occurred in Infinity War, perhaps nobody had a harsher demise than Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch. Wanda uses her powers to pull the Mind Stone from Vision's head and destroy it. However, Thanos spoils her sacrifice by using the Time Stone to rewind time and just get the stone anyway. On top of that, the snap turns Scarlet Witch to dust just a few moments later. Despite all that, Elizabeth Olsen is slated to reprise her role in Endgame. According to Olsen, her situation won't improve. Speaking on a panel at Ace Comic Con in Chicago, Olsen cryptically warned that it was only going to get worse. Sebastian Stan's Winter Soldier and his friendship with Chris Evans' Captain America has been an emotional fulcrum for the MCU narrative in recent years. In Captain America Civil War, the fight between Cap and Tony was much deeper and much more personal than politics. It took the bigger debate of the Sokovia Accords and boiled it down to fighting for the soul of Bucky Barnes. With Bucky reduced to ash in Infinity War, how does Sebastian Stan find himself back for Endgame as Winter Soldier? Appearing on The Late Late Show with James Corden, the host asked Stan if he could explain how he came back for Avengers Endgame. Stan had a coy reply for Corden.
Bucky's dead. Happy New Year. Well, that's it. That's all I got.
Darn these Marvel secrets. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite superhero films are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.